Who was Silver Ann?
Silver Ann was a show. That's a small pig by breed a Chester White. And I was in high school when we first met. I belonged to the Future Farmers of America. So I took classes in agriculture, and I went out and worked for the farmers around the area. And I found that I could buy a purebred, pedigreed Chester White young gilt. Gilt is like young virgin, has not given birth. And so the gilt that I bought was only maybe 35 pounds or so. She was white. Actually, it's a pinkish white, but the hair is white, skin is pink. And she had really good conformation. And her name was Silver Ann. I thought it was wonderful. Silver Ann had papers to go with her. And I brought her home to our house at 419 Raymond Street, and had built a hog pen and a house back there for her. So she lived at the backside of our 2 acres. Beyond her were the fields. In front of her was our garden, and then our house. Our garden was a whole acre worth of garden. And so there wasn't the normal pig smell or anything like that. And she lived very happily back there. And she grew bigger and bigger daily, as pigs are wont to. About that time, one of the local factories which manufactured candy experienced a kind of disaster. They expanded all at once, Lucy Ellen Candies, and they had a kind of a chocolatey marshmallow interior, but they were coated with a thick dark chocolate and had 2 almonds on top, and packaged, I think, 2 to a package. They forgot that chocolate needs a stabilizer for heat of any kind. So they shipped this chocolate out, and Uncle Paul, he came in an earlier story, he'll reappear again. Uncle Paul went out to gas stations, grocery stores and whatnot, and sold them on the idea of buying some Lucy Ellen candy and putting it on the shelf. They all did. And all their customers began to complain that the chocolate turned chalky white on the outside. And in some cases, the chocolate had little, you don't want to know, coming out of it. And so Uncle Paul had to go out and gather up everything he had distributed all over the place and bring all of it back. What are we going to do with all this? Silver Ann knew what to do with it. So I'd sit down there and unwrap Lucy Ellens and throw them out there, and Silver Ann would gobble them down by the gallons. She's the only chocolate-flavored hog I ever knew. Well, as time went by, it was time to introduce her to one of the things she's supposed to do in life, which is produce little piglets. And that was successful. So she produced 8 living pigs, one that didn't. And Uncle Paul, figures in other stories, came down. He was now 80-ish. And we're out there in the hog house delivering those pigs one after another. And we had gunny sacks, and we wiped those pigs down after they got delivered and get them moving a little bit, and they just seemed to know right where to head on her. And she would give those little sounds, and that seemed to say to the little pigs, "Come right around here to the tummy, there's a faucet for you." And so they would line up over there, and remember sitting in that little bitty building. It was not more than 5 feet high.
How old were you?
And I was high school.
Uh-huh.
And so we had a 2x4 around the edges so that the little piglets could scoot underneath the 2x4 when the sow laid down so that she wouldn't squish them, but she was big by that time. And all the pigs grew up down there, and the pigs benefited a great deal from the chocolate also, because it continued to come in for a while. And come showtime, summer, the season of county fairs and whatnot, well, it was time to make the best with 4 of Silver Ann's barrows. A barrow is a male pig who has lost his ability too. I was the one who helped Uncle Paul, there he is again, castrate those pigs. And it's a brutal operation. I'd never want to go through it. He's on your picture. She's on your pictures over there. Nellie's on your pictures.
She'll lose interest in a minute.
And so these barrows were taken as one of the classifications, 4 barrels in a pen. B-A-R-R-O-W. And also Silver N. Well, Silver N not only won the county fair, Moultrie County, but she went on to another county and in a regional kind of playoff before the state finals. And somehow I wasn't as good a showman as some of the other guys, and so she didn't move on to state, but she was certainly the best young sow in all of Moultrie County, and that is who Silver N is.